Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and you are listening to Subhash Chandran and this is me. So unlike other videos where I used to present using slides, I thought of appearing in front of you because I thought my appearance will add little more value to what I'm going to talk about today. So what I'm going to talk about today is about one of the most frequently asked doubts and questions in my channel. So which is nothing but how to get a job even after completing piping design course for freshers. So that is what I am going to cover in this topic. So I will cover this topic with using 5 bullet points, and these 5 bullet points I will try to cover right from the industrial expectation and how you can increase the probability of getting job and how do you have to prepare yourself to get the job actually. So without wasting time, let's get into the video, and at the end of the video, if you really feel that this video is useful to you, don't forget to give me a like and also share with your friends. So now let's get into the topic. Let's start with the first point. The first point is, what is the expectation of industries? So industries have a clear-cut expectation on these job seekers. They have categorized these groups into 2 major groups. One is fit to use candidates and other group is not fit to use candidates. So let me talk about the fit to use candidates first actually. Fit to use candidates are those who are hired through on-campus and off-campus process through various evaluation methods. So industries and company feels that they can go on and invest on them, provide them a training for the future companies and industries development basically. And the guys who are into not fit to use candidates are those who haven't qualified the evaluation process. So industries are expecting them to have a certain level of knowledge for whichever job that they are coming for. So not only knowledge, they should have a knowledge, skills such as technical skills and tool skills such as softwares and any particular technical softwares, and they should also have the communication skill and presentation skill. Communication skill in the sense, it is not the fluency in English, it is about your ability in responding to the technical queries using right terminologies. Basically, you must be good in subjects basically. So that is the expectation of the industries. So if you are into this particular category, then you must have a certain knowledge. It doesn't matter how you gain this knowledge without even getting a job. It doesn't matter to the industries at all. Industries are expecting you to have a certain level of knowledge before coming to the job because they are considered to be a little more poor than the other type of candidates basically. So we must have a certain, because I also belong to this particular category, not fit to use. So I realized this fact that I should have a knowledge before even going to a job. So I tried my level best to improve my knowledge. So that is the reality. That is the reality of the job market. So if you understand this clearly, you will be able to meet the expectation of the industries. Now we will go to the point number 2. Point number 2 is CV structuring. I know that most of us are not good in CV structuring and many of us have doubt on how to shape our CV because we are not good in writing the CV. I know this compliance will be there actually, but please note that this is one of the very important skill that we have to develop because our job is not going to end in 1 or 2 years and we have to continuously work in this field. So we have to be really good in CV structuring. So let me just give you why this CV structuring is very important. In recent days, in last 1 or 2 months, and I've been receiving a lot of queries regarding what is the future of piping engineering and whether we'll be able to survive or not. There are a lot of such queries used to come. So there was one candidate, I don't want to name him. So he sent his CV for a job. Then I told him, I'm not in a position to give you a job, but I can help you if you want to learn anything in piping. So he said, sir, I have sent you my CV. So if it is possible, please go through my CV and tell me whether do I have to do some improvements or not actually. So now I'll tell you why CV structuring is very, very important. So I've gone through his CV actually, and then I found that the CV has a lot of contradicting elements. I'll tell you why it is actually. So when I started actually, the summary says he is a piping design engineer. And he has written that he knows the plot plan and he knows the making of piping layout and piping MTO. He has written all the right skills basically. And after that, when I seen his experience, which was too contradicting. He has 1.5 years of experience. And of 1.5 years, first 6 months, he worked in some sales and marketing, which has no relevancy to the piping engineering. So if you have similar kind of an experience, what I would say is that just take out those experience. Don't try to mention that, because don't try to fill up the time basically. You can even put that time as a time that you have trying to find a job, or you're trying to take some training or trying to improve your knowledge on the piping engineering. And the second important thing is that the last 1 year he had worked in some company where his main role was modeling in Caesar. So basically he was into pipe stress engineering and he was into the modeling of Caesar model, I mean stress modeling. So he has a better leverage in pipe stress engineering. So he should shape his CV in such a way that it appears for a pipe stress engineering position. So in that way what happens is that he will get more call. So I'll tell you why it is so important actually, because our CV is our face value, because when the CV goes to interviewer, the CV is the first thing that appears in front of the interviewer. It's not our face actually. So interviewer filters out your profile based on your CV. So that's why I am saying that CV is the face value of our profile actually. So we have to structure the CV in such a way that it should be appealing and it should be relevant for a particular job. Let me give you an example of CV structuring. So let's say that you are applying for a piping design engineering position. So your CV should have this structure. It should be very simple basically. So you can start with an objective. Objective saying that you are a mechanical engineering graduate seeking an entry level position to become a piping design engineer and wish to learn more in piping to become an useful resource for the company. So that's it. So you don't have to write a big words actually. You can write it very simply. And summary. In summary, what you can write is, you are a mechanical engineering graduate, completed your engineering in this particular year, and you have done a lot of studies in piping, and you have also undergone training in piping to understand what is pipe design engineering. And you can write down some bullet points like these are the areas you have studied and you are interested basically. So the summary is done. Then you can mention your education, then you can mention the certification that you have done, and then you can mention your the tools, any software tools that you have learned, like it includes MS Word and MS PPT and Microsoft Excel and piping softwares and all technical softwares like 2D softwares and 3D softwares. And then you can write down your experience actually. In experience, and you should be very concerned about picking the right terminologies. Let's say that if you are applying for this particular position, piping design engineer, if you do not know what are the roles and responsibilities, I'll tell you one of the simple way to do it actually. You can go to Naukri and type piping design engineer, and you will find the list of profiles that are requested by the companies. So company would have written down some requirements actually. You can copy those requirements if you are familiar, like take out the simple requirements, because don't put something which you do not know about it. So you take out some requirements which you are completely familiar about it, and exactly those terminologies you can reflect in your CV. So that is how you make a little more relevancy to your profile actually. Make sure that you modify your CV for every job that you are applying. Don't keep one CV and apply for all the profiles basically. If you are applying for a designer, you have to focus on 3D modeling and 2D drafting. And if you are applying for a design engineer, you have to focus on the subject area and as well as 3D modeling and 2D drafting. And if you are planning for a pipe stress engineer, you should only focus on pipe stress concepts and pipe stress tools and the modeling and the analyzing aspect of it. So this is how you bring a relevancy to your CV. Okay, now let's go to the point number 3. The third point is how to prepare yourself and how to improve your knowledge in piping engineering. For that, let me tell you 3 examples. The first example is that getting a piping job is not as difficult as compared to going to IIT and clearing the civil service examination and clearing the banking examination and going to top universities. The knowledge and the preparation required to clear these examinations are much high compared to piping. If these examinations are at this level and we are at this level. So we just have to understand that we need a little knowledge to get into these jobs, because it is nowhere near to this higher level of competitions. And second example I would like to tell you is that look at the sports people. A lot of lakhs and lakhs of sports people are being trained every day. But if you look at the people, those who are taking the medals actually are the one who's actually going through rigorous training systematically. So we have to believe in systematic education. Like we have to understand the basics and the concepts, and only then we'll be able to develop the core knowledge. So we always have to stick on to the fundamentals and try to learn the fundamentals basically. And the third example I would like to tell you is the kind of preparation that how a guy has made actually. So recently one guy called me up and to ask doubts about the future in piping. So I was trying to inquire about him actually. And actually, to my surprise, he has done all the preparation at the very early stage. So early stage in the sense he was a mechanical engineering candidate who completed his engineering in 2020 only. But immediately after completing the engineering, he has done piping design engineering course, that is for nearly 4 months. 4 months, a daily course. He has to go to the institute and 8 to 9 hours of trainings are there actually. He has done 4 months of course. And after completing this course, and he has also done 3D modeling course such as PDS, PDMS and SP3D and E3D. He has all kind of qualification. And within 6 months time actually, he got a job also. And the reason why he called me up is that he wanted to know whether piping engineering is a right field or not. But I was actually surprised to see his preparation. So we have to understand that there are candidates who are doing a lot of preparations actually. If we are not going to prepare ourselves, then we'll be lagging in the race. In the race, we always have to come first at the end actually. If you come last at the end, definitely will be out of the race and will not be able to participate in the opportunities basically. So what we have to do is that we have to realize that there are thousands and lakhs of candidates are doing a lot of preparations actually. If we are just a candidate sitting at home just by applying in online and thinking about the job will come to us and the company will call us and they will provide training, they will give all the knowledge and they will give along with the salary, this will never work actually. The industry's expectation is to have like for you to have a certain level of knowledge before even getting into the job. So we have to improve the knowledge at any cost. So how to improve a knowledge? That is it varies person to person. So I would like to tell you 3 important areas you have to focus actually. If you are looking for a piping design engineering job, first of all, the first thing you have to learn about is how to read the piping input. You have to be like really good in reading the inputs. There are a lot of piping inputs are there, PNID, piping material specifications and the project documents. So you should be able to read the piping inputs. And second, you should know the basis of developing the piping design. And third point is that you must be excellent in doing the modeling, 3D modeling in softwares, using piping softwares basically. If you are a 2D designer, then you should be really good at 2D software. And if you are a 3D designer, you should be really good at 3D software. You should have a system in your home with these softwares installed so that you can practice at least for nearly 2 hours in a day. So how to get the software is there are multiple ways. You can check in the market and you can check your institutes that there are lot of institutes are selling the softwares at cheaper price actually, but you need to have a setup in your home so that you can practice for at least 2 to 3 hours in a day actually. So as an average in a day, you have to spend 2 hours in studies and minimum 2 hours in practicing your softwares. At least this much preparation you have to do it to prepare yourself. This is going to add a cumulative effect in your life, in your career, because let's say that you are invested 4 hours in a day and after 6 months, so continuously you are investing 4 hours in a day for 6 months. This will give an enormous amount of knowledge. Before even going into the job, you will be able to understand at least 30% of the total engineering. That is what industries are expecting. Industry knows that you are a fresher and they don't expect you to have full knowledge. They just want you to do a little more preparation before coming to the job. So if you have nearly around 20 to 30% of a knowledge, that is far more better actually, because industries are actually knowing that you are a fresher, so definitely you can't build a design from zero, but they are just expecting you to have some basic knowledge. So this courtesy we have to understand actually, because since without any skills or knowledge, nobody will give you any job. So it's your turn. Invest your time and learn more and practice more with piping softwares so that you will be able to improve your knowledge in piping design. Let's go to the fourth point. The fourth point is how to increase the probability of getting job. I know that getting a job is not at all an easiest task. That's one of the reason I want you to understand about the how to increase the probability of getting a job basically. So by which you will be able to get the job. So there are 2 different ways that I would like to talk about. The one way is using the online portal and using the newspapers and using the jobs that are posted through job agencies and going directly and registering in the company's portal basically. So this is one way. This is the most easiest way. You can simply sit at home and apply and wait for the call. There is another way which is more toughest way, and also it is considered to be one of the best way to get a job, going and finding out companies from door to door. So you have to go to the business hub in your cities. The benefit of going to the business hub is that you will end up finding a lot of engineering companies. Even if you're not making in piping engineering, you will be able to make into some other engineering field. That's one of the beauty of it, and you will come to know what are the different opportunities. So you will be able to make up your mind accordingly. So please go and walk door to door to identify these companies. Nowadays we have a lot of information available in internet. It is so easy to identify the address of these companies actually. So with contacts with your friends and through LinkedIn, you can find enormous amount of information about these companies. So please try to find these local companies and small scale companies, because small scale companies can give you a job more easier than the MNCs, because in MNCs they have some structures, they have to follow some protocol to give you a job, but in small scale companies they can simply give you a job. So that is one of the greatest advantage in small scale companies. Most people don't use this opportunity, but remember that there are a lot of people are trying to grab this opportunity. If you are not the first person to grab, then you will be the last person. So please keep this in your mind that we have to be at first and everywhere. We have to run in such a way to grab all the opportunities. There is no other way, because the demands are so high that for 10 jobs there are thousands of people are there. So if you don't run fast, definitely, and other people who are better capable to run fast and better capable with a lot of skills and talents will take away. So you have to be qualified, and you have to run fast, and you have to try to find all the opportunities and try to grab the opportunities at first. So that is the first important thing that we have to do it actually. So the probability of increasing a job is to apply for more jobs. Try to use all the opportunities to apply for more jobs and grab the opportunities. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Let's go to the last part of this video. The last part of this video is one of my favorite point, and which is one of the very important point for all the growing engineers to understand. The point is that simply actually understand the universal law of energy, which is nothing but all the positiveness and the goodness will go to people, those who are actually honest, determined, dedicated, focused and prepared actually. So you will, if you are having this quality, only then you will be able to actually succeed in anything that you do. Even if it is a job searching also, you will be able to succeed only when you have this quality. This we can understand from the real-time example. Real-time examples such as you can take Steve Jobs and Marcus Zuckerberg and Mr. Narayana Murthy. Those are big giants actually, those who have worked really tirelessly and invested their time and effort and invested with the true honesty, determination and dedication, and built a big empire, so that lots and lakhs of people are able to work and their life is turning better actually. They are able to do that just because that they understood the universal law of energy. So that's one of the reasons that I want to insist that we all have to understand this. So how to identify whether we are actually abiding this rule or not? So let me give you an example actually. Let's take, we have 24 hours in a day actually. Let's take out 8 hours for sleep, and let's take out 4 hours for doing the activities such as eating breakfast, lunch, dinner and doing some taking bath and all actually. So we have left out with 12 hours basically. So of 12 hours, let's take out 2 more hours for doing like helping parents like mother, brother, father and sister actually. So we are at the end of the day, we are left out with 8 to 10 hours. So how much honestly, how much dedication you are able to show for within this 8 to 10 hours decides your future. Let's say for an example, you have 8 hours in a day, solid 8 hours, okay. So if you are able to contribute honestly all the 8 hours into one particular task in searching a piping job, in focusing on improving your knowledge and searching jobs in online and door to door by going door to door to companies and trying to understand what type of companies are available and what type of opportunities that you have to prepare for, and trying to understand the requirements actually. So if you are able to invest all the 8 hours into this particular activity, you are 100% you are honest and determined, dedicated, and you will be able to get the job opportunities very quickly actually. But most of the time what happens is that we may not be able to contribute that much actually. So if you really monitor your activity, take out the paper, take out a notes actually, write down whether you are able to actually contribute this much or not. If you really look into it, most people in the name of searching jobs, they will watch movies, they will go to YouTube channels and they will spend immense time on something else, not focusing on what they have to do actually. So at the end of the day, if you see actually, only will be able to contribute 1 or 2 hours in a day. So which is roughly near around 30% of contribution. So if we are making 30% of contribution, we will also get 30% of benefit. So what I would like to request you is that if you are really concerned about job and concerned about being successful or concerned about doing any activity successful, actually we have to give 100% dedication. That is the universal law of energy. If you are able to understand this, it is 100% guaranteed that you will be able to get a job very quickly. So that's it guys, and most of the time what happens is that we usually live in the dream world and we don't understand the reality of the market or the industries, actually basically job market. So it is really important to understand the reality in the job market. So I guess that by this video you will be able to understand the reality of the job market and the preparation and the kind of preparation that you have to do in order to get a job. So if you really like this video, please don't hesitate to give me a like button, and also don't forget to share with your friends, those who are actually having all these doubts. Actually this will help them to make their life better basically. I will meet you in another fantastic video. Until then, bye from Subhash Chandra.